Hi, everybody. It's Mr. Gray here. Thank you again for another great week. We have a busy week coming up next week. There are parent conferences coming up next week. So I'll be there, your student should be there, and you should be there so we can all set goals for the year. That's what we're looking at. How are things going so far? And then what does that mean for the rest of the year? What are the goals we are setting for your child for the rest of the year? So I'll see some of you on Saturday morning. And then all week next week, Monday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday are early dismissal days. The kids get out at 1:05, and Tuesday there is no school. So I'll see lots of you on Tuesday, and then after school throughout the week. And then, of course, next Saturday too. So I'm excited to see you and have a chance to sit down and talk about your students, all the amazing qualities that they have, and also what we can work on to grow this year. So it should be really fun. And I really enjoy the time I get to spend with all of you during that. If you haven't yet signed up for the planetarium field trip, please do that. We're coming up, we're into the second week of October, and at the end of October, October 30th is the day that we actually go. Like I said, if you haven't signed up for that, please do. If you can give a $45 donation to the school to help cover the cost of that, that is huge. It really allows us to do the field trips. And then finally, just as a heads up for the next week coming up, Wednesday, October 16th is Picture Day. Next week is very short. There's just not a lot of time. All the days are early. There's other things going on next week. So our academics are much lighter than normal simply because of time. All the things get rearranged. But we're still working as usual. So in reading, the kids will continue reading their realistic fiction books. We're going to spend a couple days just talking about and going over like a list of universal themes that come up in books. Sometimes students, especially in 5th grade, have these ideas about what's the lesson of the story, but we don't quite have the words because we just haven't had enough experience with the themes that come up. And there are different versions of themes. There are one-word themes like love and family, and there are also thematic statements, which are sentences family isn't always the people that are related to you. Could be a theme of a book. So there's different ways I can talk about it. And so we're going to spend some time next week talking about that. And hopefully that will help us give us the vocabulary to talk about books a little more. Maybe we'll finish or get close to finishing the Read Aloud, The Miraculous Journey of Edward Tulane. You can ask your kids about that. It's a fantastic book. Next week in writing, the kids are working on their second narrative, and we're really working on stretching out the heart of the story. So finding what is the tension or the problem and really taking time to slow down the story at a certain point and really stretch that out. And of course, we're also trying to develop characters. So we get to know the characters a little more. They're not just static figures who talk or interact with other people. They're a little more three-dimensional. And then in math, we're going to start our second unit, which is numbers in base 10. We're going to compare and contrast decimals, compare decimals, and also talk about multiplication strategies as well as addition and subtraction strategies. In social studies, we'll continue the age of exploration. The kids are going to be in a group, and they're going to present about one specific explorer and the accomplishments of that explorer. The kids will have science lab with Mrs. DeMarco. We'll do correlative conjunctions for language, which is like either or, neither nor, etc. And then, of course, we'll have buddies next week. It's in some ways it's a very short week because the kids aren't at school as much, but it's a long week because there's a lot of nervousness about parent conferences. But truly, it's mostly going to be a celebration of all the kids, of all the things your children do well. And then we'll take some time simply to look at how can we get better, because we're always trying to do that. So again, I'm looking forward to seeing you. If you have any questions, something comes up right before the conference and you're thinking, oh, I want to make sure we talk about that, you can always send me an email just so I'm the most prepared. But of course, we have things I'm ready to talk about, and your students also made some materials for us to look at too. So it should be exciting. So I can't wait to see you. Have a great weekend. See you next week. Bye-bye.